He died of three causes: pneumonia, anemia, and a toxic mix of prescriptions.
You're correct. Pneumonia fans are dead and certain that Diddy is to blame for her passing since. Following Diddy's incarceration, there were rumors that the majority of those in his immediate vicinity had pneumonia. Aside from the fact that I'm very certain you all know that's what Kim Porter said, here's another factor that lends credibility to the accusation. You can all see how the links are connected, but the real question is, what may be the reason behind Brittany's ex-partner Ashton Kutcher's claimed attendance at Diddy's renowned white party? Why did they even have to remove Brittany Murphy, and how did they manage to do it? Now here's the tea. After Brittany and Ashton had a falling out, he was terrified that she would reveal his alleged freak-off involvement with Diddy. Before rumors began to circulate about Diddy and Ashton's role in this woman's death, we were told that she had no relevant medical history and that she only suffered from flu-like symptoms and stomach pain for a few days before collapsing in her Hollywood Hills home's bathroom. Sharon Murphy, her mother, described the terrible moment when Brittany's lips became blue while she struggled to breathe. Sharon claimed that when she instructed her daughter to get up, Brittany responded, "Mommy, I can't catch my breath. Help me, help me." And those were her final words. Such a terrible way to lose someone, honey. I hope her soul rests in peace. Later, the coroner determined that pneumonia was the cause of her death. There are many contradictions in the story that have people on the streets demanding answers, but there is also amnesia and a lethal combination of prescription drugs. Because Brittany's husband, Simon Njiak, claimed that she only had a heart murmur, which can cause fatigue, dizziness, and regular heartbeats, but is generally not life-threatening. He also claimed that she was taking herbal remedies that wouldn't speed up her heart, and that there was nothing in the house that could endanger her, just some cough syrup and prescription medication for her female time. So, where is the pneumonia and the toxic mix of coming from? Kim Porter Pad claims that Porter had only complained of a sore throat a few times. Days passed, and the fever reached 102 degrees. During the last week, Porter reported that her temperature had returned to a normal 96 degrees. According to an insider, she even had a deep tissue massage and watched movies with her family that evening before bed. And the following morning, at 8:30 a.m., Porter was discovered dead in her bed. Before 11:30 a.m., they thought she was asleep. We can only imagine the family's sorrow at the time when housemates saw she wasn't moving and contacted 911. Here is what the coroner's report says. It is unbelievable that both of these women died of pneumonia without any relevant medical history. And the similarities between their situations didn't stop there, because there was no known history of alcoholism or signs of trauma. And she had no health issues when she returned from her trip. According to reports, Brittany was afraid that someone was after her life, and Simon was overly protective of her during that time. They carefully chose between doctors and medications, and they even avoided the paparazzi so that people wouldn't know she was ill. Kim, on the other hand, reportedly became terrified after writing a detailed memo about Diddy's alleged freak-off, which was supposed to be published just before she passed away. It was even more bizarre to learn that her husband Simon also passed away from pneumonia 5 months later, and that he owed Diddy's trainer a substantial amount of money. You see how the story continued to develop with Diddy at the center of it. However, Brittany's father, Angelo Barotti, conducted additional investigations into his daughter's death and asserted that she was poisoned. He pushed for new lab testing on his daughter's blood, hair, and tissue, and the results indicated that the presence of 10 heavy metals in a strand of her hair was proof of a poisoning death. In an interview with GMA, he told, have a suspicion that this was a poisoning case, and I am aware of that. But Brittany's mother publicly objected to him when she stated that we will never know for sure. However, we do know that the Los Angeles County coroner conducted tests and discovered that Brittany died of natural causes, and that she is now a real, living angel in heaven. Both parents may be correct in the end, and we will discuss that in a moment. But what we really want to know is how Diddy and Ashton allegedly got rid of Brittany, because she wasn't with Ashton at the time, and he was married to Demi Moore. Shock you to learn that although he was married to Demi Moore, Ashton continued to sneak in to visit Brittany. It was at that time that he supposedly obtained her. Gene Deal provided further details regarding this when he said,
I was around Ashton and Diddy before, and they were speaking about Brittany Murphy. And I don't think I ever told the story, and I'm about to tell the story here. While he was married to Demi Moore, he was still sneaking around seeing Brittany Murphy. You understand? We were going to Nets game, so we picked him up, and he was explaining to Diddy that every time he goes to Brittany's house, paparazzi always catches him, or almost catch him, coming out her apartment or coming out the building. Diddy was saying, telling him that's either your doorman or your security. You know what I'm saying? And he was still married to Demi Moore. So you could have something, you could be right. Because it's crazy how they said her and him and some other individuals with them around all died of pneumonia, and they were in perfect health.
"So that was it." Well, honey, I think everything is starting to make sense now, but you still want to know how Brittany got pneumonia. Here's what the streets are saying, baby, which has added another layer to the story. Baby oil can be used to poison someone and causes pneumonia. Yes, you read correctly. According to One Piece, it explains everything we've been saying from jump. After dating Brittany Ware and attending Diddy's parties together, Ashton Kutcher married Simon Monjack, who was also connected to Diddy through his personal trainer. Simon allegedly owed that personal trainer a significant amount of money. Later, Brittany Murphy and her husband Simon both died of pneumonia 5 months apart. The coroner for both Brittany and Simon was also the coroner for Kim Porter. Now let's get this straight from the source. Control of poisoning aspiration pneumonia is a less common but more serious side effect of consuming baby oil. It happens when baby oil is swallowed and breathed into the lungs. It's interesting that we recently learned that Brittany died of pneumonia and poisoning from the baby oil child. If that theory is true, then both of her parents were correct. However, one final thought that crossed my mind at this point was how Brittany managed to swallow the baby oil, because the article stated that pneumonia happens when baby oil is swallowed. When swallowed, this fan provided insight by stating that using baby oil orally is harmful. The fan also asked, who would have thought that baby oil is used for that? As usual, youngster, I would love to hear from you all about whether you believe that baby oil can be poisonous and cause pneumonia. Please share your comments in the space provided below, and we'll talk about it in the upcoming video. Do you believe that Diddy and Ashton are actually to blame for Brittany's death?